If you didn't fall from the sky, then this is about you. Maghā, the ancestor's throne, meets the new moon at 0 degrees Virgo. What does this mean? That means a part of us that manages life, systems, schedule, even our health. Now it's sitting face to face with the part of us that remembers names, ancestors, rituals, unfinished stories, some things that is stored in our subconscious mind. We don't even figure out where it's coming from. If you've ever felt a tug in your spine when a family name is spoken, if success makes you weirdly guilty, maybe, if you keep a ritual that you don't fully understand, welcome. You are not broken, you are inheriting. Tonight, I'm not here to judge your family. I'm here to help you honor without ego, drama, and upgrade without rebellion. In this time together, maybe the next 40 minutes or maybe 1 hour, we will turn inherited shock into skill, the karmic weight that is dragging us down into service, and we'll take this family pride into quiet dignity. Here's our plan. One precise decision that cleans our system, one simple Maghā ritual you can actually do, and 12 rising sign prompts so you'll know exactly where to start. So along this way, I'll show you how to calm your nervous system when old patterns may flare up, how to speak to ancestors or Pitṛs with gratitude, and how to stop repeating what doesn't belong to you without rejecting where you come from. Grab your notebook, think of one ancestor by name if you can. By the end of this video, you'll have a clean next step, a prayer that fits in your real life, and a gentler story running through your body. Are you ready? This is one of my favorite subjects, Maghā. Let's take our seat in Maghā humbly. Write the next chapter of your clarity and life purpose. So Maghā is one of the 27 nakshatras, the constellations. It's the throne of the ancestors where the Pitṛs are. So translation, if you didn't fall from the sky, this is about you. Maghā holds the family code we inherit, not just by name, but dignity, the duties, the patterns that we feel, just how people are. Some of that inheritance is beautiful and some of it is heavy. So this new moon touching Maghā, it's inviting a reset. We honor those who carried us here without ego drama. Bless what was and upgrade what will be. Think of it as moving from inherited shock to skill, turning that pride into quiet service and chaos into clean systems and love into daily practice. So if you have parents or grandparents or simply if you have a last name, Maghā is your invitation, a personal invitation to take your seat humbly and write the next chapter of your life with dignity. Let's start with some technical facts. New moon exactly happens on August 23rd. So that's when Virgo is 0 degrees in tropical. Sidereally, that comes in Maghā. So I'm using tropical Rashis and sidereal nakshatras. So this Maghā is all about ancestral dignity. So what is happening? New moon in Virgo is like a finger of God pointing to clean our systems. And yes, we are setting seeds that ripen. That's going to happen on September 21st. That's going to be a eclipse. So we are getting ready for that. So the psychology of the Pitṛs, let's go deeper than just pop astrology here today. So Virgo, it regulates the body's dashboards, schedules, digestion, sleep, inboxes, and the stories we repeat to feel safe. So this Maghā, it adds the ancestral layer to it. Who taught you to be worthy? Whose approval feels like oxygen to you? In the Vedic stream, Maghā nakshatra is ruled by the Pitṛs, so ancestral beings. Its symbol is the throne, the seat we inherit, the DNA, our name, the property, the temperament, even our family mission, what to speak of the samskaras, the impressions that carry on through our blood. A lot of people have what we call as Pitrudosha. In classic Vedic astrology, Jyotisha, it points to ancestral deaths or backlogs. It's not necessarily a curse, but it's a signal that gratitude, duty, or mourning is incomplete. Sometimes it's even some ancestors may have died untimely and they're stuck somewhere. And the remedies, well, there is Shraddha, there is Tarpana, there's service to older people and parents and offering oblations and offering some charity in the name of your ancestors. When we live dharmically, according to the morality and rules and religiosity, it also helps our ancestors. And the other way around, if they lived religiously, we also inherit some sukriti and good karma. And the modern science is giving also the other parallel, that trauma can leave very strong impressions. If a mother experiences trauma during pregnancy, the child carries it. And if the generational trauma existed, then it carries from the genes. So even there is evidence on a modern day situation that intergenerational patterns in all the stress factors in the pathway, it's seen modern day, there's a lot of work like ACA. Although debates exist about how far it truly transmits in human beings like that modern day, but the tendency is very clear, both in a Vedic sense and in a modern sense, that families do pass on more than, say, eye color or hair color. Spiritually, we also call it the samskaras. Psychologically, it's the conditioning. Either way, awareness of all these things and practice can change that expression, that can break that generational curse and the pattern. And in Bhakti Yoga, it's very simple. It's very sublime. That's why I love Krishna consciousness and Bhakti Yoga, because Shrimat Bhagatam says that when one takes full shelter of Mukunda, of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, who never falls down, then no longer is that person bound by debts to devas or sages or relatives or Pitṛs. It comes in the Shrimat Bhagatam 11th canto. Yet the same tradition also asks us to be grateful, to serve the elders, to give charity, to live responsibly, to surrender the karmic bill, and to practice devotional service perfectly. So unless and until you're practicing it perfectly, we cannot cut chains with certain rituals or certain connections and certain obligations that we carry with our Pitṛs. So yes, service keeps the heart soft. It can melt the karma. It can reduce. At the same time, we have to see how serious we are in spiritual life. I've seen a lot of times even people who practice spiritual life really suffer from this Pitru dosha. So I want to give you some Shastric snapshots. There are stories that we can see from Shrimad Bhagatam. One is the Bhagirath bringing Ganga to liberate Sagara's 60,000 sons, ancestral redemption through his austerity, tapasya, through his prayer. And then when Ganga's sacred waters started flowing and then it touches the ashes, and everybody gets liberated. So we can pray that let our water be devotion and the daily cleanliness of life and gratitude and right desires. I would say this is a point of nervous system astrology because so this particular new moon, it says that the body's clock and the brain's tabs must talk. Okay, so what is Maghā ritual? It's simple. Ego quiet. Keep it humble. Pitru Tarpana. This is something traditionally followed. The mood is gratitude at sunrise or any time before noon. They take a little hand full of Ganga water and offer it with some flour or sesame seeds. And then we say, I remember you. I am grateful. So traditionally the meaning was, I release what is heavy. May your blessings flow through service today. So it was like a exchange of gratitude. I offer waters, I offer charity in your name, and may your blessings be upon us and the continuing generation. So the culture of Maghā is about honoring ancestors, small, sincere rites that count. And it's also about dethroning the ego with a quiet act of service. Call it a parent, elder, feeding somebody, anonymously pay for somebody else's meal, carry your dignity without demanding a throne. So that was the actual traditional meaning. Of course, there are rituals where you hire a brahmana to offer Pitru Tarpana, etc. So what is this Pitru dosha? So from my research and practice as an astrologer, Pitru dosha often shows like a 5th house or a 9th house affliction, maybe with children, lineage, dharma, there is some affliction. Also planet Sun or Rahu and Ketu themes, repeated family obstacles. But to see it holistically, it's not like a one single astrological combo that is like dooms anybody. And there are remedies like daily mantra, offering of water to Surya, respecting elders, giving charity, doing certain shraddha or doing certain amavasya pujas. Practically, it's like a healing therapy. It's about releasing. It's about that gratitude to imbibe it in our system. And spiritually, it's about dissolving that debt, karmic debt, psychological debt, and then keep that love circulating. Are you ready for 12 sign micro prompts? Well, it's not so micro. I have a little psychology research I did for every sign. Aries, see, you need to channel that warrior and not the wound. So the psychology is you inherited this move fast, feel later, family pride, quick tempers, eldest child, fix it all myself. So when you're anxious, you may create battles so you can be heroic. And the upgrade for you is take 20 minutes, body reset daily. Mobility, breath, sunlight. Book it in your calendar like a client, And you may sometimes feel hot face, jaw clamp, head rush. That time you just need to pause, exhale and inhale. So your mantra can be, I act when it matters. I don't fight to feel alive. And a spiritual tip for you is offer Surya Arghya, water, to the Pitṛs and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 108 times for your Pitṛs, for anyone in your line that fought for your survival. And then perform like one protective act, one particular seva in their name. All right, next is Taurus. Taurus rising. You need to learn to honor the land without hoarding the life. The psychology is we survive by holding on. And then there may be some scarcity wounds, like maybe dowries or stories of mistakes from ancestors. So that kind of stress could turn into comfort eating or over saving. Somebody in your ancestor experienced poverty, so you're like holding on to it. So the upgrade is look at your weekly money ritual, review, categorize, then make one micro optimization, maybe automate a bill. And physically, you may experience like throat tightness, heavy belly. And then you can do this humming. It's very powerful. And then chew very slowly the next meal. Okay, so your mantra can be stability is service. Accumulation is not my identity. So a spiritual tip for you is offer a simple sattvic bite. I grew up watching my parents, my grandparents doing this. They take like the first part of the meal and they put it in the side. That's actually for the Pitṛs. So the mood is again like I am connected, I'm grateful. So you can do the same. You can give some food in the name of your ancestors. It really teaches your nervous system that generosity is safe. This is one of the big lessons for Taurus. All right, Gemini rising, it'll clean lanes for the mind. It's all about clearing. The psychology for you is families that bonded through maybe secrets, maybe side channels, or maybe through sibling competition. These could be themes for you. So anxiety may scatter you into like 15 tabs you open up, 3 chats that are unanswered. And so it kind of weighs on you. So the upgrade for you is 2 fixed communication windows a day. Everything else, do not disturb. One touch inbox rule, which means you open the message only once. For you physically, you may experience jittery fingers, like restlessness. That may be one of the themes for you. Maybe shallow breath. It's hard for you to take deep breaths. And close every tab. 1. Don't keep so many tabs open. This can be a really powerful ritual to reset and release generational trauma. And the mantra for you can be tell the truth simply. I don't carry other people's messages. Think about what that could mean to you. A spiritual tip for you is read 3 lines of gratitude aloud to your forebearers. Maybe call somebody, a senior person in your family lineage, Arghya, water to Surya, to sun god, and offer a leaf or a flower or a fruit to the picture of Krishna and pray to your ancestors. This can be, again, another powerful way of release. Next is Cancer rising, belonging without enmeshment. So the psychology behind is that caretaking as an identity, guilt if you need space. You relate to this? Weather reporting everyone else's feelings. So an upgrade for you can be create one sacred corner at home. Label it 5-minute daily reset. This is your nervous system clock. So in your body, you may experience chest heaviness sometimes, maybe cravings, drink some hot tea, and then sometime, putting your hand to your chest, slow breaths, and slow breaths before you answer any emotional message. And the mantra for you is care is clean when consent is clear. Basically, don't advise until you're hired. Spiritual tip could be cooking for the Lord. Cook one dish and offer it. Learn the offering mantras if you don't know it. And then offer that also to your maternal and paternal lineage. Then ask your living family for consent. Would you like to help with giving a charity to particular ashram in my parents' name? So this kind of shift, it heals generations. Of course, if you can do some, say, Amavasya Puja or something, then the Brahmanas can take care of all these things. But if you want to do it on your own, please go ahead and ask me more questions in the comments. I'll give you some advice. Next is Leo rising. Dignity without performance. It's always a big thing, right? So psychology is family name, visibility, image, scripts, pride, and then the shame. So there's all these extremes, father line authority without the wounds. Sometimes stress makes you overprove. Overprove can also include overshare. So your upgrade can be write down what you share, how often, why do you share that, and schedule a weekly no spotlight day. And in your body, you may experience like in the solar plexus, like a tightness. And then maybe you sometimes feel an urge to pick up the microphone or go post something. So in these situations, soften your shoulders, breathe into your back ribs. And your mantra is, my worth precedes applause. So nobody needs to applaud to tell you your worth. So the ancestral energy can flow through you in an organic way. And the spiritual tip is do one anonymous act of service. I always say that for Leo. Maybe there was an ancestor who was chasing prestige. So offer waters to sun god in their name so that they can feel loved, their souls after all. And ask the Lord to give you that quiet strength instead of spotlights. Okay, next is Virgo rising, excellence, not exhaustion. By the way, this can also apply to your Virgo moon sign as well. Psychology is perfectionism as love, because if it isn't flawlessness, it's not safe, or health anxiety, or constant self-editing. So the upgrade for you is write 5 daily rules like sleep, food, work blocks, movement, prayer, and then keep track of them. On a somatic level, you may experience jaw clench, fist clench. So I always advise practice the 80% rule, ship at good enough, schedule the improvement loop later. Just go ahead, do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So your mantra is, I am faithful. I'm not flawless. You don't need to be flawless. A spiritual tip is gather like scattered ancestor papers, maybe photos into one labeled folder. Offer a simple Maha mantra, maybe one round to those who tried to perfect everything so we could belong, and consciously, choose to let go of those unhealthy ties and connections. All right, next is Libra rising. Peace that tells the truth. The psychology is appeasement. There is some keeping harmony at any cost. Conflict avoidance that breeds resentment. So the upgrade for you, a tiny one, a weekly relationship check-in. Feelings, finances, logistics, same template, same time. So the somatic cue for you is your throat might sometimes hurt, something related to throat. Write a 3-sentence truth, read it out loud. Your mantra can be, my yes is real because my no is clear. So even having a clear distinction. Offering flowers to Pitṛs or your ancestors, releasing one small grudge or debt. Set that one boundary that protects your goodwill. Indian people usually do every year. They offer this flowers and offering. So it's actually devotional diplomacy, if nothing else. All right, Scorpio rising, intimacy without secrecy. Now, the psychology is taboo, silence, crisis, when you experience the need. So then there is inheritance and power games. We don't talk about this and that. And there's a lot of generational trauma that can come. So create a shared legacy document, accounts, passwords, wishes, transparency is love. And sometimes in physical body, you may experience like a stomach knot, breath holding, 5 minutes, long exhales, long inhales. And also your neck, this area could be stressed. Do some massage. And your mantra can be, what's private is chosen. What's secret is heavy. So you're only as sick as your secrets. A spiritual tip for you, offer water with black sesame seeds if available, and make one trust-building disclosure to a safe person. Chant Narasimha prayers. It really helps you get that courage to let light in. Next is Sagittarius rising or Sagittarius moon sign. Freedom with follow through. See, the psychology for you is either rigid dogma or reflexive anti-tradition, migration grief, or even rebellion. So the other extreme is like, I'll wing it kind of optimism. So you need that balance. So upgrade is daily study time, practice time. Pick one pilgrimage in your mind. You can visit Mayapur, Vrindavan, one particular learning goal and go for it. And physically, you may experience like joints, knee pain. So do squats that really physically kind of like uplifts you. And your mantra can be, I don't outsource meaning, I practice it. And spiritual tip for you is read one verse you truly love and teach one sentence from it today to somebody. Offer waters to sun god and to travelers in your line, which means your ancestors, and ask for steady feet, steadiness. All right, Capricorn rising, legacy without self-abandonment. So the psychology behind is parentification, like you may identify too much with certain roles, status anxiety, you overfunction and you may call it normal. And the upgrade for you is one work process, okay? Like you do one thing, give 15-minute break. Not that you have to overwork. Physically, you may experience like knee pain, back pain, lower back. So these are all symptoms that the body is saying to slow down. Now, the mantra, the boundary for you is responsibility includes my body. Your spiritual tip, you might want to serve some elders on behalf of your ancestors and then offer water for the ancestors and in the mood of those who carry too much. Maybe your ancestors had that mood of carrying too much weight. Ask to carry wisely, not endlessly. That can be your prayer to the ancestors to help you be balanced. Aquarius rising, community without exile. So the psychology behind is sometimes there's these black sheep vows, maybe rescuing the group while starving the self. Sometimes very high ideals, burnout. So the upgrade for you is one-page governance. Having things clearly written down, roles, rules, meetings, whatever it is. And then clean your digital hygiene. Yeah, you know what that means. And on a physical bodily level, you may experience numbness and you can put cold water on your wrists, on your face, and eat hot meals. And your mantra is, I belong by contribution, not conformity. And a spiritual tip for you, contribute to a mutual aid and offer waters to your ancestors and ask them to be free of negativity and ask for belonging without self-erasure, individuality. All right. Pisces rising or Pisces moon. Compassion with containment. The psychology is like there's this martyrdom, maybe addiction or avoidance, romance with suffering, boundaries feel unspiritual maybe. So you need to upgrade yourself, morning spiritual hygiene, having clear boundaries, 10 minutes silence, no phone, eating in silence, taking long walks. And physically you may experience foggy head. Try this Pomodoro technique, work just 45 minutes and then take a break. Your mantra can be, I can love you and still say not today. So your spiritual tip is about offering water to the lineage and dedicate your first 10 minutes of the day to quiet japa, to quiet connection with the Supreme Lord. I'm going to give you an eclipse teaser. Everything you see now in this month up to September 21st, when there is going to be the Virgo solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse. This is a culmination or reset in work, health, and service. So think of the next 4 or 5 weeks as the debug sprint. Simplify your inputs, take a break, build dignified systems, let the devotion kind of metabolize your ancestral weight. And I'll be back with full eclipse briefing. For now, set your single rule and do the simple ritual. I want to say something about ancestral baggage. What people call a generational curse, often it looks like unfinished grief, family vows. We never talk about this in our family. We never do this in our house. Survival strategies that outlived usefulness, maybe people-pleasing tendencies, control, secrecy, or even some cultural scripts around gender, class, caste, status, or some sacrifice. So how it shows up is hypervigilance, sabotage, right before success, something happens, then guilt when things go well, overfunctioning for others, then repeating patterns with partners or parent roles, same kind of story repeats, then shame around money, pleasure, fear of visibility, all these things. So what's happening is with Virgo, Maghā in Virgo, the antidote is small, repeatable systems that can restore dignity. Certain cultural, devotional habits like daily prayer, mantra, simple like tarpana of water, charity, clearing your budgets, clearing your paperwork, intentional rest, intentional resetting your patterns of work, honest conversations with living elders, therapy, counseling, and one weekly act of service done quietly can really do magic. I honor what kept my family safe. I choose a different pattern now with respect. This is something that can really help you cut off from unhealthy things, but at the same time, keep the positive aspects of your family lineage. Extra helpful tips, paperwork can be spiritual. Wills, health proxies, shared passwords, they are like modern tarpana. So money is a family story. A budget and a buffer, both are devotional acts. So it's almost like saying, speak to the dead, act for the living, say the names, tell one true story, then do one practical thing. Forgive your ancestors. You can bless an ancestor and still end a harmful pattern. And this bodily somatic experiences, they can be released through long exhale, the humming, feet grounding, warm meal at a table. Simple regulating exercises can also help very much. So thank you for watching this video. If this helped you, share it with a family. Healing runs in both directions. Comment your one decision and your Maghā act of service. Jai Shri Krishna, Hare Krishna.